My child, stop right now wherever you are. Do not scroll past this message. Heaven has set an invisible clock for this exact moment. And while the world around you moves in a frantic rush, my spirit has quietly drawn you into this sacred space for a divine assignment. You did not land on this video by chance. My hand brought you here. Hear my voice above the noisy chatter of your day. I am stepping directly into your path at this very hour. I am doing this because I am actively protecting you from what does not belong to your destiny. You have been carrying a heavy weight in your spirit for far too long. And while you wondered why certain doors collapsed right in front of your eyes, my angels were standing guard to keep you safe. You looked at the sudden closures with deep sorrow. You wondered if heaven had gone silent when you needed help the most. You felt abandoned in the dark. And every single night when you lay on your bed, your restless mind kept turning over every painful detail of what went wrong while you searched for answers. You blamed yourself for the failure. You thought you were not good enough. You felt like a disappointment. You wondered why your best efforts were never appreciated. I watched you wear your bright smile like strong armor during the day so you could keep everyone else comfortable while you were quietly falling apart inside. I saw every hidden tear that fell onto your pillow. Not a single drop of your grief was forgotten by me. I heard every quiet whisper of your breaking heart in the midnight hours. I know the exact name of the pain you carry. Listen to me very carefully right now, because what you called a devastating loss was actually my sovereign shield holding you back from a hidden destruction. What felt like a cold rejection was my warm redirection. You were trying to hold on to something that was secretly draining your spiritual life and poisoning your peace. I love you too much to let you build your future on a foundation that would eventually crush your soul. I saw the hidden trap sitting directly behind that closed door. You could not see the hidden danger. Your loving heart only saw the potential and the beauty. But my holy eyes look directly into eternity, and I know what lies ahead on every path. So, I stepped into your circumstance and shut that door myself, because I locked it tight so you would not wander into places that were designed to destroy your faith. Do not treat this as an ordinary moment on your phone. Heaven does not call a meeting without a sacred purpose. A critical turnabout is taking place in the spiritual realm at this exact instant. The heavy fog of confusion is lifting from your mind right now. And as my light fills your space, you are about to see the truth clearly for the first time. You are my chosen one, set apart before the foundations of the world were laid. You are a royal heir to the kingdom of heaven. You were never created to scavenge for crumbs or beg for affection from those who do not value your soul. You carry a holy dignity that cannot be compromised by worldly desperation or fear of being left behind. Declare your amen right now in your heart if you receive this divine protection into your spirit. Say yes, Lord, if your soul is ready to let go of what was never yours. Feel the tight grip of anxiety beginning to loosen inside your chest. You can finally release the painful urge to fix what was meant to break so you can enter my rest. The adversary wanted to use your exhaustion to push you into a wrong turn. He wanted you to settle for a counterfeit blessing out of sheer weariness and doubt. But his subtle plot has been completely dismantled by my word today. What was designed to bury you in deep regret is turning into the very platform that positions you for victory. I know you arrived here weary from fighting battles you were never meant to carry alone. You have fought so hard for so long. You have carried burdens for your family, your friends, and your home until your hands trembled. And while the long season of striving in your own limited strength ends today, my presence is taking over every battle in your life. You can let go now. You are safe. You can breathe the quiet air of my unconditional peace. The heavy chains of regret are falling off your wrists this very minute. You no longer have to look back at the past with bitter tears, because the past no longer has power over your destiny. I am making all things new in your life, and my timing is absolutely flawless. You have wondered for months why the promises seemed delayed. You wondered why others moved forward while you felt stuck in one place. But hear my truth today. Your delay was not my denial. Your waiting season was the essential foundation where I refined your gold, so you could handle the weight of your future glory. Stay close with me in these next few minutes and do not let your attention wander away. for I am about to unlock the heavy room of your secret burdens and show you why that door had to close. I am preparing to unveil the magnificent gifts I have preserved for your lineage. The turnaround you prayed for begins right now, in this holy hour. I see the hidden places of your weary soul. I know how exhausted you truly are today. You have spent years holding together things that were constantly pulling apart. And every single morning when you opened your eyes, you felt a heavy knot sitting in your stomach while you tried to figure out how to keep everyone happy around you. You walked into room after room giving away your light. You poured your precious energy into empty vessels. You compromised your boundaries just to keep others calm. And even when your own spirit was screaming for rest, you forced yourself to keep standing because you believed that letting go meant you had failed. You carried people who never intended to walk alongside you. You fought for relationships where you were the only one making genuine effort. You defended those who spoke ill of you behind your back. And while you poured endless care into their lives, they quietly drained your strength until you had nothing left for yourself. Look at your hands right now. You held on so tightly that your palms are bruised. You stayed in environments that poisoned your self-worth day after day. You tried to fix toxic situations with endless patience, while those very situations were slowly eroding your joy. You thought that if you just loved them a little more, they would finally change. You convinced yourself that if you sacrificed a little more of your health, the opportunity would finally reward you. But hear my voice clearly today. You were trying to water dead soil. You were trying to build a holy sanctuary inside a collapsing building. I watched you bleed for things that were never designed to give you life. I know the precise moment your spirit felt completely shattered. You sat alone in your car after an exhausting day. You stared into the quiet darkness with heavy tears rolling down your face. And in that silent moment, you asked me why you felt so lonely despite giving your entire heart to everyone around you. I heard that quiet question echoing in heaven. I did not turn a deaf ear to your pain. I saw how you carried the burdens of your family, your job, and your friends until your emotional reserves hit zero. You wore your armor so well that the world thought you were invincible. But I saw the fragile child bleeding beneath the steel. Inscribe these words in the comments right now if your spirit needs this release. Say, I trust your hand in every closed door. Let your heart announce its full surrender to my will. You no longer have to prove your worth to people who are determined to misunderstand your value and take your kindness for granted. Why do you fight so hard for what causes you continuous pain? Why do you mourn the ending of a situation that brought you endless anxiety every day? The adversary convinced you that any connection is better than being alone. He made you believe that losing that person or that position meant losing your future entirely. That argument was a complete lie designed to keep you bound. The enemy used your fear of abandonment to keep you trapped in places of spiritual starvation. He knew that as long as you were preoccupied with repairing toxic bridges, you would never have the energy or vision to cross over into your true inheritance. You gave your best years to situations that gave you nothing in return. You sacrificed your mental health to maintain a false illusion of stability. You stayed up late into the night worrying about people who slept peacefully without a single thought about your well-being. It is time to face this truth with complete honesty. What you were fighting to save was actually destroying your soul. The connection you called love was actually a subtle form of bondage. The opportunity you called a blessing was actually a trap designed to keep you tied to a lower level of existence. I am opening your eyes today so you can see reality clearly. I know how hard you tried to keep the peace. You swallowed your own pain just to keep others comfortable. You apologized for things you never did wrong just to avoid conflict. You made yourself small so that others could feel big. But I never called you to shrink your spirit to fit into places that were too small for your calling. You do not need to feel guilty for being tired today. You do not need to apologize for reaching your absolute limit. Your exhaustion is not a sign of weak faith or spiritual failure. It is simply the natural result of trying to carry what I never commanded you to hold in the first place. I am lifting that unnatural weight off your shoulders right now. Feel the heavy pressure leaving your neck, your shoulders, and your chest. You are allowed to put down the heavy armor. You are allowed to stop fighting for things that continuously drain your holy peace and poison your spirit. Do not leave this sacred encounter yet, for what you called a devastating loss is about to be revealed as my greatest protection over your destiny. Stay right here with me, because I am preparing to show you how I turned your deepest heartbreak into a divine shield. It is time to see your past through my holy eyes. You spent many tearful nights mourning over what you lost. You thought that closed door was a tragic rejection. But I declare to you today that every single door I closed was actually my divine shield, standing between you and a catastrophic fall. You could only see the beautiful exterior of what you wanted. You saw the bright smile of the person who left. You saw the promising surface of the opportunity that fell apart. But my eyes looked directly into the hidden depths of every heart and every situation, and I saw the decay underneath that shiny surface. I saw the silent trap that was carefully set to ruin your peace. I knew that if you walked through that doorway, you would enter a season of deep torment. So I reached down my sovereign hand and slammed that door shut. I allowed your heart to break for a moment so your entire soul would not be destroyed forever. You thought I was punishing you for some forgotten mistake. You wondered why your earnest prayers seemed to bounce off heaven like heavy bronze. But my silence was not anger or abandonment. My silence was the focused concentration of a loving father who was actively shielding his precious child from an invisible strike. You were not being cast out into the cold wilderness. You were being pulled under the safe shadow of my almighty wings. Inscribe in the comments right now, if you feel this truth settling into your spirit. Say, I trust your hand in every closed door. Let these words lock this holy revelation into your mind right now. Understand what would have happened if I gave you what you wanted back then. If I allowed that relationship to continue, it would have slowly drained your holy fire. It would have turned your vibrant faith into bitter doubt. If I gave you that position, the immense stress would have broken your physical body. I saved you from a tragedy you did not even know was coming. I protected your future when you were completely blind to the danger. So stop calling your deliverance a tragedy. Stop speaking about your salvation as if it were a tragic failure, because you were never defeated by the enemy when you were actually rescued by your King. Look at the furnace of your recent trials with fresh spiritual vision today. The refiner does not place pure gold into the intense heat to destroy it. He leans over the fiery furnace with intense love, watching closely until all the impure dross melts away and his own clear image is reflected in the liquid metal. You were not being broken down in that painful furnace. You were being broken open so that the deep anointing I placed inside you could finally overflow. The fire was not sent to consume your spirit. The fire was sent to burn away the heavy chains that were keeping you tied to a lower dimension of life. There is a sacred treasure hidden directly inside your wilderness season. You could not see it while you were crying over the empty space left behind, but right now, the dark fog is clearing away from your eyes. And as my light fills your heart, you are beginning to realize that the loss was actually the greatest blessing you ever received. You do not need to replay those painful memories in your mind anymore. You do not need to ask why they walked away or why the door locked so suddenly. I ordered every single step of your journey. I held the keys to your life, and I refuse to open a door that leads to your spiritual death. Release the heavy burden of regret that you have carried for so long. Step out of the graveyard of your past expectations right now. You were set apart before the foundations of the world to be a pure vessel of my glory, and a pure vessel cannot be contaminated by things that belong to the dark world. You are my chosen one, refined in the quiet fires of holy endurance. The enemy thought that shutting those doors would make you curse my name in bitterness. He thought that the loss would cause your faith to collapse completely, but you stood firm through the storm, and your endurance has proven the purity of your devotion. Before this sacred moment passes, you must understand another hidden layer of my plan. You must understand why certain people could not walk with you into your next chapter. Stay close to my voice as we uncover the mystery of divine pruning in your life. Look closely at the branches of a fruitful tree in the early spring. A gardener does not cut away branches because he hates the tree. He cuts them away because he loves the fruit. And every cut is a deliberate act of care, designed to direct the life-giving sap into the places where the fullest harvest will grow. That is exactly what happened in your life when those people walked away. You felt betrayed when they left you alone in your darkest hour. You wondered why your loyalty was met with sudden coldness. You tried so hard to build bridges over deep chasms, but every attempt to reconnect only brought you deeper emotional exhaustion and pain. Hear my truth today, my precious child. Their departure was not your failure. It was my divine pruning at work in your personal space. I cleared those people out because the smallness of where they were comfortable could never contain the magnitude of where I am leading you. They reached the limit of their assignment in your life. Some people are only anointed for a specific chapter of your story. They were never meant to travel into your next dimension. And if I allowed them to stay connected to your spirit, their doubt would have corrupted your faith, while their hidden jealousy slowly poisoned the fresh seeds of your future harvest. I loved you too much to let their spiritual smallness stifle your growth, so I quietly stepped between you and removed them from your circle. Stop begging for people to return to a room they were meant to leave. Stop trying to reattach dead branches to a living vine, because what died in the fire was never destined to survive the next season. You spent months asking why they turned their backs on you so easily. You wondered how years of friendship could vanish in a single moment. But I tell you that their hearts were shifting away long before their feet finally walked through the door. I simply exposed what was already hidden in the shadows so you could be free. You do not need to feel ashamed for missing them or for feeling the sting of rejection in your heart. It is natural to feel sorrow when something you loved comes to an end. But do not allow your temporary grief to turn into a permanent doubt about my goodness or your worth. Look at the opportunities that slipped through your fingers as well. You thought those missed chances meant you were falling behind everyone else. But those closed doors were simply divine pruning of your career and finances. I was removing fragile foundations so that I could build something permanent upon the solid rock of my covenant. A royal heir does not weep over discarded rags when a golden robe is being prepared for them. You were trying to fit your vast destiny into cramped spaces that were built for lesser callings. I had to shake your environment so you would finally let go of what was temporary and reach out for what is eternal. Feel the light freedom taking root inside your spirit right now. You do not need to carry resentment against those who walked away from you. You can forgive them completely and release them with a peaceful heart. They were simply instruments in my sovereign hands, helping to clear the ground for your ultimate breakthrough. The space that feels so empty right now is not a graveyard of lost dreams. It is holy ground prepared for divine connections that honor what you carry. I am positioning pure companions and righteous partners who will walk alongside you without envy, without competition, and without draining your precious light. Think of how much lighter your spirit feels when you no longer have to manage someone else's fragile emotions. You no longer have to walk on eggshells to prevent a sudden outburst or an unexpected departure. My peace is filling the rooms where anxiety once reigned supreme in your daily life. Speak this truth into your atmosphere right now if your heart is ready. Say, I release what was never mine to keep. As these words leave your lips, the invisible cords of attachment to the past are being severed completely. You are walking into a spacious place where your spirit can finally breathe and flourish. Do not fear the quietness of this transition season. The quietness is not emptiness. It is the holy silence before a major expansion in your spirit. The 3 seals that have kept your life in a holding pattern are beginning to crack open, and the favor of heaven is getting ready to flood into your home. Hold this truth tight in your heart as we move forward together today. For I am now lifting the false label the enemy placed on your name and establishing your true identity as my chosen child. Stay right here with me as I restore your authority and show you who you truly are in my kingdom. Lift up your head right now, my child. Look directly into my eyes. Stop defining your true value by the painful scars of what you walked through. The adversary fed your weary mind with subtle lies for many months. He whispered that you are broken beyond repair and completely forgotten by heaven. But I dismantle every single counterfeit label that was placed upon your name right now. You are not a helpless victim surviving a random storm. You are a royal heir to the kingdom of heaven. You were set apart before the foundations of the world were laid to carry my glory into the earth. And no earthly rejection or broken relationship can ever diminish the holy dignity I placed inside your spirit before time began. Take off that heavy armor you wore for so long. You do not need to wear a fake smile to keep everyone else comfortable while you bleed inside. You do not need to perform or strive to earn my love. My love for you is an everlasting covenant that remains completely unshakable regardless of your failures or your temporary stumbles. For years you acted like a desperate beggar searching for crumbs under the tables of people who did not value your soul. You compromised your boundaries just to be accepted. You allowed others to treat your kindness like weakness because you feared being left alone in the cold dark. But a true child of the King does not beg for affection from those who cannot see their true worth. You carried the heavy spirit of unworthiness for far too long. You allowed the harsh words of critical people to dictate how you saw yourself every day. You looked in the mirror and saw only flaws and past mistakes. But when I look at you today, I see my beloved creation refined in the furnace of trials and shining like pure gold. Inscribe these words in your spirit right now. Say, I am a royal heir, and I walk in my divine identity. Speak it with firm conviction until the atmosphere around you aligns with the truth of my word. Every spirit of self-pity and shame is leaving your heart this very instant as my unyielding light floods your mind. Understand that your true portion was never lost in the furnace of your trials. What was taken away from you was simply temporal stuff that was clogging your hands. I reserved a double portion of my finest blessings for your life, and those blessings are safely held under my holy altar where no thief can ever reach them. You thought your past mistakes permanently canceled your destiny. You thought your age or your current circumstances made you too late for a fresh beginning in life. But my timing is not governed by human calendars or worldly expectations, and what I promised over your lineage will come to pass with absolute precision. Look at the royal robe I am placing over your shoulders today. It is woven with my righteousness, my strength, and my everlasting peace. You no longer have to bow down to fear or live under the shadow of past failures. Walk with your head lifted high because the God of the universe is personally directing your steps into victory. I watched you pass the hardest test in the quiet dark when no one was watching your tears. You could have chosen bitterness when you were deeply hurt. You could have surrendered to revenge when you were betrayed by those you loved. But you chose mercy, you chose faith, and that holy endurance proved that you carry the genuine gold of my kingdom. You are an anointed vessel chosen to release my restoration to others who are hurting. The deep pain you endured was not sent to crush your soul. It was designed to produce an authentic compassion that will break the chains of many captives in your family. You were made for this exact hour in history. Stop measuring your current season by what your physical eyes can see around you right now. The unseen realm is already shifting in response to your persistent prayers and silent tears. The heavy seals of financial lack and confusion are cracking open, and an abundance of heavenly favor is about to manifest in your home. Your long days of striving and fear are officially over. You are stepping out of the exhausting wilderness of self-reliance and entering the quiet security of my divine provision. Rest your mind in my presence today and let your soul celebrate the massive restoration that is taking place right now. Hold this truth tight in your spirit as the atmosphere around you shifts. The long winter of waiting is turning into your season of sudden breakthrough. Stay close with me right now as we step into the prophetic climax that will shatter every remaining chain in your life. Listen to my voice right now. The atmosphere around you is shifting. My divine authority is filling your quiet space. And as I speak these words over your spirit, every heavy seal of delay, lack, and heartbreak is shattering into pieces at this exact instant. The long winter of your sorrow is over. The dark cloud of regret is dissipating like mist before the rising sun. You passed the secret test in the furnace. You did not even know you were taking it in the dark. The adversary fought you so fiercely not because you were weak, but because he was terrified of the glory you carry inside your spirit. He tried to lock you in a dark cage of bitter regret over what walked away, but his subtle plot has failed completely. Your holy endurance through the fire has broken his power over your life forever. Hear the sound of the first seal today. It is cracking open over your destiny right now. I am unsealing the stream of divine peace and mental liberation into your home. The constant anxiety that pressed against your chest is leaving your body completely. And while you wondered if deep rest would ever come back to your life, my holy presence is wrapping around your weary soul like a warm blanket. You will no longer wake up in fear. The heavy knot of dread in your stomach is gone. Your mind is being renewed with quiet confidence every morning. You spent so many nights turning over every painful detail of what went wrong in your past. But while the world around you remains full of chaotic noise, your heart will remain anchored in a tranquil stillness that surpasses all human understanding. You are finally free. I am shattering the second seal right now. The long season of restriction over your life is ending. I am releasing the overflowing stream of provision and financial restoration into your lineage. The invisible barriers that blocked your resources right when breakthrough was near are being torn down today. And whatever was stolen from your hands in seasons of deceit is returning to you in full measure. You were never called to suffer in lack. Scarcity is not your permanent portion. Endless debt has no authority over your future. You were created to be a royal heir, walking in abundance. I am opening unexpected doors of opportunity that no human hand can ever shut. And as you step into this new season of overflowing supply, you will have more than enough to fulfill your calling and bless every seeking soul around you. Look up at the heavens today. The third seal is breaking open this very minute. I am pouring out the sacred stream of allied connections into your daily life. I am replacing every counterfeit relationship that drained your soul with genuine companions who will honor your calling. You will never again have to beg for affection from people who are determined to misunderstand your value. These new companions will stand beside you. They will speak strength into your vision. They will celebrate the pure gold inside your heart instead of trying to extinguish your light. You spent years walking alone in lonely valleys while trying to fix people who only brought you pain. But as you walk together into this new chapter, every connection will be marked by deep mutual honor and holy peace. Every weapon formed against you has failed completely. The legal rights of darkness over your story are canceled by my sovereign decree today. You spent years carrying the heavy blame for things you could not control, but right now, as you step out of the shadow of past heartbreak, you are standing tall in the full daylight of your divine victory. The shift in the spiritual realm is permanent. No force on earth can reverse what I have unsealed over your destiny today. Your long chapter of testing is closed forever. The hour of your reward has arrived. Now that the heavy chains are broken into dust, I require a physical gesture of faith from your hands. Stay close with me as I guide your next step into freedom. Look at your hands right now, my child. For far too long, you have held your hands tightly closed in a clenched fist of fear. You held on so tightly to what was pulling away because you were terrified of lack. And every single time you tried to grasp those fading memories, the fear of having nothing left consumed your mind. You felt helpless in the dark. A clenched fist holds on to fear and scarcity, but a royal heir walks with an open hand, completely ready to release what was never theirs so they can receive the unlimited supply of heaven. Hear my command clearly in this quiet hour. Open your hands right now. Unclench your fingers, release the heavy burdens, and let go of every fear. As your hands open right now, a powerful shift is taking place in your spirit. You are stepping out of the exhausting posture of survival and moving into the sacred position of complete surrender. You no longer have to fight to keep broken things together. And while the enemy tried to make you feel defeated, my presence is filling your soul with overflowing grace. You spent years treating yourself like a victim of circumstance. You thought that holding back your heart would protect you from being hurt again. You built walls around your spirit out of deep exhaustion. But a wall built from fear only keeps out the very blessings I prepared for your life. It is time to tear down those walls forever. You spent so much time holding on to people who were pulling away. You thought that if you squeezed tighter, they would stay. You tried to force a connection that was already broken, but you cannot hold water in a clenched fist. And when you finally open your hand, the water falls away, but your hand becomes free to receive the rich gifts that were actually meant for your journey. Remember who you are in my kingdom today. You are not a beggar waiting for someone to notice your worth. You are a royal heir with full access to the endless treasures of heaven. You do not need to settle for breadcrumbs of attention or fake promises from those who do not honor your spirit. Stand tall in your holy dignity right now. Now, place a seed of faith upon the stone altar of this holy calling today. Open your hand and watch heaven unseal the true provision meant for your entire lineage. This is not a worldly transaction or a desperate plea for help. It is your prophetic action of complete obedience. It is your open hand declaring victory over every form of scarcity. When you release a seed of trust and faith, you are not losing a portion of your supply. You are releasing a spiritual anchor directly into the massive harvest I have prepared for your future. Do not let fear whisper that you cannot afford to trust me today. The adversary wants you to keep your hands clenched so you remain trapped in endless worry. Defy that subtle lie right now with a firm heart. Proclaim your complete trust in my unfailing word. Inscribe these words in the comments right now to seal this prophetic shift in your spirit. Say, I release what was never mine, and I claim my true inheritance. Speak it out loud into your physical atmosphere until every remaining wall of doubt crumbles into dust. Feel the tight grip of past heartbreak dissolving from your heart as you declare your victory. You are stepping out of the smallness of your past into the boundless expanses of my kingdom. The doors that locked were simply holding you back until your spirit was ready for this magnitude of favor. You carry a holy dignity that cannot be shaken. As you step into this position of surrender, the seals over your financial life are breaking wide open. The seed of faith you place on the altar today acts as a holy key. It unlocks the reservoirs of favor that were preserved for this exact chapter of your story. You will see the fruit of your obedience manifest in your daily life. Speak it with a firm voice into the air once again. Say, I am free from what was never mine. Speak it until your physical body aligns with the holy truth of your release. The heavy weight that sat on your chest for months is gone completely. You are walking in absolute freedom, unburdened by regret and surrounded by my divine protection. Do not look back at the burning ruins of your past. Do not waste another second mourning over the empty spaces where toxic things used to dwell. My angels are guarding your path on every side, and what lies directly ahead of you is far greater than anything you left behind. My sovereign promise over your life stands completely unshakable. Your act of faith today has set something extraordinary into motion. The resources that were held in holding patterns are beginning to flow directly into your home. You will no longer have to scramble or strive in your limited power, because my covenant ensures that your supply will never run dry. You are entering a season of overflowing rest and abundance. Quiet your heart now, my precious child. Breathe in the quiet stillness of my presence as we move into the final sealing prayer over your home. Stay close with me for just a few more moments, for I am about to place the permanent seal of my peace over your entire life and seal your total freedom forever. Now, quiet your breathing, my beloved child. Take a deep, slow breath right now. Feel the heavy weight completely leaving your chest. The long battle is no longer yours to fight, because I have taken full command of your entire situation today. You can finally let your tense shoulders relax. You can rest your weary mind in my presence. The storm outside your door may still rage, but my peace inside you is anchoring your spirit in unshakable confidence. I see how hard you have striven to keep standing. You spent so many months running on empty while trying to satisfy every demand placed upon your life. Your days of endless striving are officially over. You do not have to carry tomorrow's worries today, because my sovereign hands are already preparing your path. Feel my gentle comfort right now. You are completely safe under my wings. Keep this sacred encounter close to your heart in the coming days. Do not rush to explain your sudden inner shift to others. Some people only knew you in your weariness, and they will not understand the fresh holy authority you carry today. Let the miracle mature in the quiet dark. A seed planted in secret grows deep roots long before its golden fruit appears in the bright sunlight. Protect the sacred quietness of your mind today. Guard your inner peace from worldly noise and toxic chatter. When you guard your peace, you guard the holy atmosphere where my divine promises take root and flourish. The adversary wants you to engage in pointless debates with critics. But a royal heir does not argue with doubters. Walk forward in silent confidence today. Not everyone is equipped to travel into your future. Some will feel uncomfortable with the light you reflect. Do not waste your precious energy trying to pull reluctant hearts along with you. Bless them from a distance with love, and keep your eyes fixed on the open horizon ahead. My presence will be your constant companion throughout every single step of your journey. Let your heart rest in the knowledge that your future is already secured. You do not need to strive or compete with anyone else for your portion. What I have reserved for your lineage cannot be stolen by those who envy your calling. The blessings that belong to you will find their way to your door at the exact moment ordained by heaven. Trust my timing with your whole heart. Close your eyes right now as I lift my hands over your home. Heavenly Father, I place my holy seal of protection upon this precious child who has heard my voice. I command every spirit of fear and lingering regret to depart from their dwelling right now. Let your unyielding light fill every dark corner of their mind, and let every lie of the enemy be shattered completely. I release your divine favor over their hands today. I pour out your favor over their finances, their health, and their daily labor. Where there was once scarcity, let your overflowing rivers of supply break forth without measure. Where there was division, let your holy peace establish a firm foundation. Wrap their home in an impenetrable wall of holy fire right now. Grant them deep, undisturbed sleep tonight in total peace. Let their dreams be filled with heavenly visions of the bright future I have prepared for their lineage. When they wake up tomorrow morning, let them feel a fresh surge of holy strength, knowing that the former things have passed away forever. You are their fortress, their shield, and their everlasting portion. Your long chapter of testing is officially closed. The heavy chains of your past are gone into dust, and they will never bind your spirit again. You are no longer defined by the furnace you walked through, because you are defined by the pure gold inside your soul. Go forth with your head lifted high today. The God who brought you through the wilderness is walking with you into your promised land. You are walking out of this encounter transformed. The heavy fog of confusion has cleared away completely from your path. You carry a holy dignity that will inspire everyone who sees your restoration. Never forget that you were picked for this exact hour, and no power on earth can undo the divine decree that has been spoken over your life today. Express your heart's agreement by inscribing a firm amen in the comments below. Let your amen seal this sacred encounter into eternity so that your soul remains anchored through every changing season. Scan the code on your screen or see the direction left in the pinned comment below to stay connected with our faithful remnant. Go in my deep peace, my beloved child, for your turnaround is complete and your reward stands before you.